This PHP video will cover functions. As I've gone through the site and built several videos, I've noticed that it's very difficult to copy the same code multiple times so that I can reproduce a video template so that you can see videos like you're watching now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the basic template for the videos and we're going to stick them in a function so that I can just call the function in PHP and it will dynamically pull in the code and load the variables that need to be in there. For instance, the video file that needs to be loaded and the name of the video. So to start off, you can see my little video files here. I'm kind of playing with some different styles. And this is another reason why this will help. As I go through the process of redesigning the site or redesigning how these videos are going to show up, then I only have to edit it in one place because the PHP will reference that function. And so all I have to do is make my changes in the function, and then it'll be distributed throughout the entire site. For instance, later I'll be doing an animation video. It'll be doing a CS5 or CSS3 and HTML5 button animation, which would be a pretty cool zoom out type effect. Well, I'm going to probably apply that to these videos, and I can apply that within that function so that the whole site receives the changes. So the first thing we're going to do is come right down here. You'll notice I have two sections here showing videos. This one has an image play, and this one I have a lot more going on with some div tags. So I'm going to actually keep this one. This is the one I've been adjusting. And this one right here, I'm just going to kind of comment this out because I'm not going to be using it right now. And we'll probably end up removing it at a later time. Okay, so if you watch previous videos, that you know that these different PHP files are part of a bigger function. And that bigger function is loaded into my core directory. And on the header. So this header is applying to every single page that I load. So I'm going to write my function inside the header so that way that every page that receives the header.php will also receive this function I'm writing. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick the PHP above the doc type. It doesn't have to go here. It can actually go anywhere on the site as long as it's being accessed. So if I wanted to, I could stick it in the footer.php. But I want to stick it here because I like putting my PHP above the doc type. The web browser won't have any kind of problems with this because it won't actually see any PHP. All PHP is rendered on the server side, so the browser only receives what the server tells it to receive. So the first thing we're going to do is write function and then name it. In this case, we're going to call it movie buttons. Open and close our brackets. And I forgot one little thing here. We have to put our conditions. So in this case, we're going to define our condition as the MP4 and the title. And we'll see if we need anything else here in a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to my HTML5 css.php. And here is our div tag that we want to copy, and this is what we're wanting to replicate throughout the entire site. So I'm just going to cut that. Come back over here, and I'm going to close my PHP tag, and I'm going to open it up again. And in this blank space, we basically have room for HTML. And we're just going to paste that right there. Now there are a lot of ways you can do this, but I prefer to put my HTML that I'm exporting in real code as opposed to putting it in a string type code. So for instance, in PHP I could echo and then put in quotes div id equals I could code like this, but the problem with coding like this is that when you do it, you don't get a lot of the features and functions that Dreamweaver will automatically add in. Okay, so let's look through our code here. I have a div. I'm doing some inline styling right here with my size and my other features. I'm floating it left, displaying it block, not showing the overflow, changing the background color to black, and changing the foreground color to white, and putting a margin on the top, bottom, left, and right. Okay, here's where we get our name, PHP template. So I'm going to go ahead and open a PHP tag. I'm going to echo out the title. And then we want to add our movie. So the way that I've organized the HTML5 movies is that all movies reference keoflex.com, EDT6380, movie.php, and then MOV equals PHP dash whatever I'm doing, or in some cases it'll be HTML5, but I'm splitting it up. So in this case, I'm going to basically copy this whole section out and say PHP tag echo MP4. Okay. And I might want to go ahead and over here add an alternate. I didn't think about that when I first created it, so let's go ahead and do that. And if I add it here, that means I need to go ahead and add it up here as well. Okay, we have a movie button that has $MP4, $title, and $alt. So we just need to remember that. And if we need to, we can just copy the whole thing, just like that. And let me go ahead and save that and put it to the side. Now we'll come back over here to the HTML5 and CSS.php. And now all I have to do, here's a sample function I was writing before I actually started this process, is open a PHP tag, close a PHP tag, and then just paste that right there. And now we can write our stuff that we want right inside of this, or we can define it above. So this is an actual video that's running on the site. So let's go ahead and utilize this. I'm going to go ahead and copy that section, and we'll stick that in the MP4 section. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this one doesn't have a title because I didn't implement it in this, so I'm going to go ahead and create it. Okay. And here's the alt, so I'm going to copy that out. And put it here. Now, if I comment this section, then I should have just my variables, and I should be calling this function. So let's see if it works. And then let's go ahead and test it and see if it's there and working. You'll notice if we go to the HTML5, we have our black background that we set. We're building a responsive HTML, just like we said our title would be. And now if we click the play button, it should.
Okay, this video is going to be over creating a responsive HTML5 and CSS.
Alright, so that's that. Now if I want to throw another video on there, it's going to go in here and basically copy the same exact code. Paste again, and this time, oops, don't forget my semicolon at the end of those. This time, let me find another video. So we'll go up here to movies. And I have a PHP one here, so let's go ahead and change this to PHP, and we'll call it template. Okay, we're just going to save it. And then we're going to go back here to Google Chrome, refresh the browser, and now we have the building responsive HTML and the PHP video, both loading separately. Now, this isn't the design I want to stick with, so I will be able to go back and change my design, and just an example of what that'll look like. If I come back over here, and let's just say something simple like a background color change. So here's the background color showing black. We're just going to change that to, say, orange. And save that. And then when we reload the site, it's orange. So maybe I want it to be a little wider. So I can go over here and say my width, set it equal to 100 pixels. Refresh, and there we go. It's 100 pixels now. So that's how you build template-based elements within a website, and you can pretty much do this with anything that you do on a reoccurring basis. Even in the elements of our different sections here, like the HTML5 tutorial and second post, and if I keep going down the list, there could be more and more of these different content-based elements, which are loaded into HTML5 tags, such as article, header, footer. I could actually take this whole thing like this this article tag and copy that out, and then that way the article tag and everything inside of it would actually be in a function, and the PHP would call that function, and it would set the items that it wants in the header tag and the items it wants in the content tag and the footer tag. And that's just one quick way of streamlining your entire website. Alright, thanks for watching.